Though we have all traveled many uncertain roads, we have always recognized something wasn't right. We searched high and low, yet our paths had never intersected. Our desire to seek truth, then to speak true, has brought us all together. That thing of ours is rooted in truth, because truth is the only unshakable foundation. In the greatest book, it states in John 8:32, "For ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free."
Truth is a powerful force. It is the foundation on which all great achievements are built, and the bedrock of trust and respect in any relationship. When we are rooted in truth, we can be confident that our decisions and actions are grounded in reality rather than in speculation or wishful thinking.
The pursuit of truth is not always easy. It requires courage, perseverance, and a willingness to face uncomfortable facts. But in the end, the truth is always worth it. It allows us to make better decisions, to build stronger relationships, and to create a more just and equitable world.
From politics and world events to entertainment and pop culture, we've got you covered. We'll explore our history and the stories that matter to uncover the truth that lies at the heart of each one. With our fingers on the pulse of the news cycle, we'll provide the insights and analysis you need to stay informed and engaged. As we stay rooted in truth and let the truth guide us in all that we do, let us be willing to listen, to learn, and seek out the facts, even when they challenge our own assumption or belief.
Let us never forget that the pursuit of truth is not just an individual endeavor, but a collective one. Only by working together
With honesty and integrity,
can we build a better future for ourselves
And for generations to come.
This is That Thing of Ours. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining us today on this Thursday, 3rd of October, 2024. We'd like to thank each and every one of you for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and Pill.net.
and if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. And then you know you have like 300 different choices on Facebook.
Yeah, hit the buttons. That's all we ask. Hit the buttons. Hit the buttons. Anyways, thanks everybody for joining us today. We're truly excited. Bring this week to a close on this part of it. And yeah, thank God this week is coming to a close because it's been crazy.
It has. Let's say hi to everyone.
Hi to everyone.
Got F. Clint in the house.
What's up, F. Clint?
Chachi.
Hey, Chachi.
Got Miss Bethany Ann and Lightspear.
Bethany Ann. Hey, Lightspear. Glad y'all joined us.
Miss Wendy in the house.
Hey, Wendy. Bethany sharing some breaking news. Port strike currently suspended. That is curious.
I wonder why they're doing that.
I have ideas. Hey, Hope. Thanks for joining.
Hope's here with us tonight. Miss Jan in the house.
Graham Jam. Hey, Jan.
So how's everyone's Thursday going?
Yeah, I hope everybody's Thursday is doing great. So, you know what? It was kind of hit me. I wonder if they're trying to suspend the strike right now because of the supplies that we need coming in from the ports because of all the devastation that's happened.
I don't know.
That would be the most logical thing. I
That
can't
would be,
imagine that there
yeah.
would have been any kind of agreement that fast. But, you know,
No.
you never know. Maybe there was.
I doubt it.
Wendy says the containers got exposed, so it had purpose. I haven't heard about any of the containers getting exposed, but if containers of human trafficking containers got exposed, then yeah, that's a really big deal. And yeah, we'll probably be hearing about that one here real quick, or probably won't.
I was gonna say, really?
Well,
you
I mean,
sure about that?
Yeah, not really.
Exactly. We got a
It's
lot.
been a long week. Give me a break.
Yeah, I know. So we got a lot to get through. I'm gonna play a couple videos, actually 4 of them, and then we'll discuss after these first 4.
Okay, so 4 videos right off the bat.
Yep.
All
Ready?
right. Yeah. Are we?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my direction, The Florida National Guard and Florida State Guard will be deployed to critical ports affected to maintain order and, if possible, resume operations, which would otherwise be shut down during this interruption. Florida Department of Transportation is coordinating calls with seaport rail and trucking partners to ensure that all are prepared and positioned appropriately to limit disruptions to the supply chain and other areas should this continue. I'm also directing Florida Department of Transportation to temporarily waive the collection of tolls and other fees for commercial vehicles using public highways in Florida and waiving the size and weight restrictions normally governing vehicle transportation for the duration of this emergency. This will help expedite the movement of goods that have been impacted from seaports to intermodal logistics centers, distribution centers, and delivery points, and very well may help offset additional costs incurred by operation during this period. Finally, I'm directing the Florida Highway Patrol to manage the flow of traffic from all Florida seaports and adjacent roads and highways as needed to further expedite the flow of goods that are currently being held up. This will include the provision of law enforcement escorts for commercial motor vehicles by FHP officers upon request. And I would say that this is something that would have significant impacts on the nation's economy anyways, but to have this happen in a way that could negatively impact people that are reeling from a Category 4 hurricane, that is just simply unacceptable. So it really is incumbent upon the Biden-Harris administration to do everything in their power to ensure that these goods are where we need to be, that people are not left hanging out in the cold waiting for these goods if they're sitting in the ocean somewhere and they're not being able to be used here in the state of Florida or in Georgia or North Carolina or where people are going to desperately need this. We need to accelerate. We have no time for delays. Biden-Harris has a responsibility to stand up for the storm victims, stand up for the people who've had their homes damaged or who've lost their homes, and make sure they have what they need to get back on their feet.
Okay.
All right.
Next.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
He's making it so that Florida is kind of the center point for goods flowing through it, and removing the tolls on commercial vehicles it's an interesting move. Definitely trying to get the traffic to go through Florida and increase the value of the ports that they have in Florida. That's a big power play.
Yeah. So next.
All right, next.
I'm telling y'all, that Biden-Harris administration, they ain't worth a damn half a penny. They came out talking about something. First, Joe Biden came out saying that he want us to take care of the people of Hurricane Helene. That's what he said. Then they're going to come out and give the people only $750. What can that do? That can't do anything for people who lost everything in Hurricane Helene. But they want to give billions and billions of our taxpayer dollars away to fund wars, to Zelensky, to Israel, to Palestine, to Taiwan. They want to give billions away to people coming across this border illegally, paying for their housing, paying for their medical, paying for their food and childcare. Those tax dollars that they are collecting from us every day, that money should be for us when we need the money. What can $750 do to a people who have lost everything? Blue Hearts, if y'all continue to vote like this, we're doomed.
Oh, yeah, they are doomed.
Yeah. So next.
Sassy.
Wow. So Kamala came out and said they're going to give the hurricane victim, wait for it, drum roll, $750.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they're going door to door. Should be easy since most houses are missing that. What the fuck? But wait, there's more. Apply online. The people with no internet, no cell service, without this pesky thing called electricity, hemmed up in these mountains from this damn flood, in towns with no stores, no banks, and no roads. My God, why is everybody so dumb? Apply for that $750 online. They need it immediately. The only word that comes to mind is fuck. Probably working at McDonald's. They was handing out common sense. On to grab the kayaks. Gotta find the computer at the bottom of the river. This is a fucking disgrace. They've rambled some bullshit off about 100% reimbursement. Federal reimbursement to the states on a local level, allegedly for food, water, and shelter. Removal of debris. I want to see receipts. I want to see totals. How much of this money is going to the people? What are these people supposed to do in the meantime? It's going to hold them over till they get their insurance claim. While they're waiting to find their cars, houses drained, roads rebuilt, businesses rebuilt. Who's going to buy these people stuff to wash their bodies with? How are they going to cook this food with hopes and prayers? Can't possibly shelter hundreds of counties, a half a dozen or more fucking states. Who's going to buy these people clothes? How are they going to get to work when their cars are 5 states away in a river somewhere? I know individual people that have done more than this. Gave more than this to individual families already. These people will be fighting insurance companies for money. They don't need a check that they can't fucking cash. They need boots on the ground manpower. Roads, bridges rebuilt now. Who could commit, get this done lickety split? They need water, they need power, they need their houses cleaned out. What the fuck is $750 going to fucking do? This is the best our government can do with fucking trillions of dollars at hand. Money that we have sent in foreign aid could have covered all these people's troubles. Put them every one in a 5-star hotel. Fed them good and fucking rebuilt. $750 for immediate need is a punch in the teeth. They're going to spend it at the grocery store that got washed away. What's that going to buy? 12 seconds and 2 days of groceries? Draw it from the bank that no longer fucking exists? Put those groceries in the refrigerator that's now in the ocean? I don't know how many counties are getting this relief. How many people are getting it? What's the total tally to? Why don't you send more people to help find these people's loved ones? For the amount of money we've gave away, $750 is fucking unacceptable. All Taiwan, get a refund. All Ukraine, call Israel, I don't give a fuck. Who's going to pay these people's bills? They didn't lose anything, but can't get nowhere because the roads are gone. This country screwed over Hawaii. Now they're screwing over the rest of the South. Sounds like a fancy way to say these people ain't going to get much relief. FEMA's wallet is more dried up than a banana peel in the Sahara Desert. More dried up than your granny snatch. Dried up like my patience for this administration. Ain't got enough money to get through hurricane season. You think these insurance companies will cover all this? Of course fucking not. They'll screw these people. Just ask this administration for some lube. They're good at fucking everybody over. We don't need to pay no more taxes. We need to all quit today. When the government ain't got no money, they can fuck off. What do these people have to do? Identify as illegal immigrants? Do the residents of North Carolina need to stick a Ukraine flag in their yard? What do the American citizens who pay the taxes that run this fucking country, what do they have to do to get some damn help? $750 is a slap in the fucking face for people that can't even get out to damn use it, who don't even have internet to apply for it. This administration, if you vote for these people, all I gotta say is fuck you, you piece of shit. That is all.
All right. Next one.
But wait, there's more.
Last one.
Oh,
on
okay.
this-
Well, it's shipwreck. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like shipwreck.
Kamala Harris's response or lack of response when it came to Hurricane Helena is going to cost her the election in the end. There isn't enough time between today and election day for people to forget. And not only are they not going to forget, they're being reminded of Hawaii, of all the other natural disasters that took place over the last couple of years where the people didn't get any help. $750 is just the start. FEMA's going to, no, they're not. FEMA's broke. FEMA is broke. This was Mayorkas yesterday, and he came out and said that they don't have enough funding to last through the rest of the season. And the reason that they don't have enough money to last the rest of the hurricane season is that the bulk of that money that they were allotted for the year was used to house, feed, and clothe the illegal immigrants that came over the border. That was all part of FEMA's new program that they had started back in July. All those videos with the free housing and the food stamps and the free clothes and all of that stuff, that was a part of FEMA. It was money that was to be set aside for when things like Hurricane Helena happens. $640 million for migrant funding. $567 million for Taiwan. $8.7 billion for Israel. The amount of money that we've given to Ukraine is in the uncountable billions. Ukraine's FEMA department's probably doing fucking great. You think you hate these people, you don't hate these people enough. There are reports, these are unsubstantiated reports, but they are reports from people on the ground in the areas of the devastation are saying that FEMA is turning away donations, that FEMA is taking people's money and not distributing it to the people that need help. That's so bad that the branch of FEMA, which is out of Tennessee, had to put out a statement. The whole thing was misinformation and that they weren't in fact stealing people's money and that they weren't in fact not allowing other donations to come in. They are not in fact confiscating supplies. There are people on the internet, influencers that are making videos with video proof that they are. That's exactly what they're doing, or they're turning people away. Nobody in the comments that nobody believes these people. Nobody, they don't trust them anymore. We don't trust you anymore. You know what? It's so sad because our tax dollars is what funds FEMA. In a corporate situation, an outcry like this, an allegation like that would at very least determine an investigation and then probably get you fired because we're technically your boss because, you know, we provide you paychecks. But no, they're just going to put out a statement. No, we're not. Boy, nobody believes you. And there's some dark shit going on too. Like they're not letting everyday people fly in and out with their personal aircrafts to try and get people out of there. They threatened to arrest one guy because of it. There are reports on the ground of bodies just laying around of people that are starving to death. They are dying. And the government's not doing anything about it, because with all the people dead across the lithium line, it makes it a lot easier for the government to come up and snatch that land. That's probably bullshit. Kamala Harris's response to the victims of Hurricane Helena is going to cost her the election. Trump will probably win the election, but she probably won't certify it. They'll start screaming about Russian involvement and Russian collusion. They'll get the media on board with it too, and they'll spin the narrative. It's going to be a fight. We don't hate these people enough.
Thoughts? And I agree with her. We don't hate these people enough.
You know what they need to do with those towns out there where like these lithium mines are, and they've decided to not get to the deceased and those who are in desperate need and dying out there. They need to just go ahead and call all of those a graveyard. So that way, it's you can't do anything with it if it's a graveyard. So call it a graveyard. That's what needs to happen. And I think that would be the honorable thing to do, not just to merely deny these clowns the strip mining of some of our most beautiful lands, but to honor those people who have deceased and those who they left out to die for no reason whatsoever other than the fact that their incompetence is on complete and full display. So you know what? In honor of those people, the sacrifices these citizens had to make because of a worthless, incompetent government, yeah, we should call that a graveyard. And no, there should be no mining of anything. You want lithium? Go buy it from China, assholes, because y'all seem to like China so much. Go spend it on them. By the way, we don't need your stupid electric cars. And we don't need your stupid green energy. So good luck.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much going on here. I mean, I'm truly proud. Hey, Mike, these stories are really pissing me off. Me too, man. Me too, because people are dying, literally dying.
Mm-hmm.
God, DeSantis made a good power play. It sounded like he was going to use National Guard and whatnot, other various
the State National Guard and the National Guard
and the Florida Department of Transportation to make sure that the ports are still running. And I think
oh
that
my God.
Mike says he has a friend helping in Asheville. They found 27 bodies hanging in trees. All we can do is pray right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm truly thankful that DeSantis is making it so that way these supplies can get out there to these people. And it highlights the big failure. And that's what's really going on is the failure of the Biden-Harris regime is on full display. Absolutely full display. Like Emperor has no clothes kind of display. The $750 payment, absolutely.
Are you kidding me?
Such an insult. How many people do you think are affected?
A bunch.
Like,
I mean, honestly, I don't know.
I mean,
At least, I mean, we're talking Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee.
So for every 250,000 people, it would cost the government $187.5 million, right? So 187,500,000.
Ukraine get daily?
How many billions do they get every day? Yeah, that's a great question. And we're doing this once a month. The purse strings, this is another one of those things. And I think that this is going to be something that's going to wake up a lot of people. Sadly, there are sacrifices that are being made every single day. And the left has shown how psychotic they are with their vitriol, taking joy in people's demise because they think that these people are Republicans, even though we understand here, the people who think and actually pay attention to what's going on understand that these are mostly Democratic towns that are getting leveled. And so it's like, can you not see that they're humans one way or another? So that's going to make people want to distance themselves from that absolutely heartless mentality. And I think that heartlessness is going to be one of the things that wake up some people and get them to recognize how ridiculous everything is. Hey, Ghost Pepper, what's going on, man? And there's Skunk too. Hey, Skunk, what's going on? Let's see. What else did I? Because there was 4 videos there.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean bodies hanging in trees? Who hung? The floods. Yeah, the
Yeah.
floods, they were lifted and just set in the trees
Yeah.
and just left there. Money and grid supplies to Ukraine. We just sent a whole bunch of supplies to Ukraine because of their infrastructure, because of their electrical grid. And so now we don't have the parts, and we're hearing news reports of people saying, we can't do this. We don't even know how long it's going to take because all of the supplies are gone now. We don't have the transformers. We don't have the stuff for the grid.
I know.
Mike says, I'm telling you, anybody voting for these assholes are just as guilty of treason as these assholes. Yeah, I'm starting to agree with you 100% there, because at a certain point in time, it's willful ignorance. Willful ignorance.
Yes.
And so there's going to have to be a discussion, and we can call it some kind of insanity at a certain point, or we can say it's criminal with willful ignorance. Certainly, the people, anybody who received $1 to spread a message that's contrary to the truth, those people are certainly guilty of treason.
Yeah.
I agree with you there. You know, we got the money for the wars. We got the money for illegals getting $2,500 per head per month.
Yeah.
How many illegals are there?
25 million.
And we don't have anything for American citizens?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we have no government. We are alone anymore. The people that call themselves our government are just people who've usurped our country. And they're not doing anything for us. Otherwise, every city, town, county, state, and federal government would be concerned about people who just lost everything in a natural disaster.
Yeah.
The insurance companies. Question: are the insurance companies going to weasel out of this too?
Probably.
Who's going to hold the insurance companies accountable? Aren't they supposed to be
I don't
there?
know, because we don't have a government.
Yeah, right. Certainly doesn't seem like it. Although I will say there is a group of people calling themselves the government that keep taking money out of my check.
Yeah, I know. You see what Chop says? And by the way, hi, Chops.
Hey, Chops. Chop says it would have been less expensive to reinvade Afghanistan and just mine their lithium. Hey, Heather. Thanks, new friend, for joining. The irony is the very thing that helped them suppress information from Americans will be what exposes them and brings them down. People are waking up thanks to channels like this. Oh, thank you very much.
Thank you.
What a great thing to say. Well, I'm truly appreciative of that.
Yeah, she got to see us live 2 days in a row. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She did, didn't she? I'm lost. Don't mind me. Anyways, Mike says the water was that high. They were stuck in the trees. That's how high the water was. Jan follows up with government needs no paycheck until all the people are helped and sent their paycheck there. Yeah. Aaron says a lot of talk on X about the hurricane and FEMA not allowing locals to help. Lots of talk about citizens going in armed and standing FEMA down to get to the survivors. That is a powder keg, as if we don't have enough powder kegs. The fact that they're leaving people out to dry in a natural disaster is absolutely appalling. And if a citizen has to tell some government G-man that they need to get the hell out of the way so that way we can go save lives that you're supposed to be doing, what the fuck are you people doing over there? And how can you sleep at night?
Exactly.
And then, and then Shipwreck talked about this is one of the October surprises. There's also the left thinks they did an October surprise. It's going to bite them in the ass, because I was reading through that. We have a video. Are we going to share that video tonight or no?
Which one?
The one about the new lawsuit on Trump.
Yes.
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 Agent Smith, whatever the hell his name is. There's not going to be enough time for them to recover. And as people are having to do this on their own, people aren't that dumb. They know that Biden ain't running nothing. And so who's left? The only thing they haven't done is gone through the 25th Amendment. I think that might be happening here soon. Oh, do we? Okay. Because I'm thinking that they're not going to have a choice but to deal with this disaster and to create the distraction, they're going to have to do a 25th Amendment. But it's going to be too little too late, because everybody knew years ago that Biden ain't Biden no more.
Exactly.
Jan says they use UP all the money to send overseas. Use
use
up. I'm sorry. It's been a long week. I'm tired. They use up all the money to send overseas. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, let's get through some of these comments.
All right. Could easily be the beginnings of yeah, I'm not going to say that out loud. The way the corrupt traitorous government is behaving. Yeah, they're behaving corrupt and treacherous.
They really are.
Treacherous, I think. Treachery, I believe, is the word we're looking for here. We need more of that standing down FEMA. Yeah.
Yeah.
When these floods happen, you can see the water is halfway up the side of a house or even with the roof. That would take a person's body into a tree easily. Yes, it would, Wendy. Mike says, yes, it is. How many American that has any love for this country at all don't see through the BS is beyond me. I don't get it. And that's a great point, because I'm sitting here thinking, it's like, how can you see everything that's going on and think that Kamala is the way to go at this point?
I know.
What are you listening
The
to?
cackling hoe.
Do you not have eyeballs with which to see what's going on? Do you not have ears with which to hear the things that are happening? Do you not have enough brain cells to put shit together to realize that we are going down, we're circling down the drain right now?
Yeah, I agree.
Renee says, this is my favorite time of the day. Oh, thank you. Chachi says, it sounds like Fed agencies are already broke. Yeah. I don't think any of the grunts they hire will be wanting to go toe-to-toe with regular folk. How long can they last trying this in different states? And that's an amazing point as well, because mercenaries who don't get paid don't play anymore. They'll just pack up and go home. Oh, you're not paying me? Huh, I'm not risking my life.
Go.
Yeah, I'm not risking my life for y'all's ass. And that's what'll happen. But it's like police officers. They pay them so little.
Oh, I know.
Even security guards. Because security guards, the police are so overwhelmed with everything that they're supposed to do, because the police to citizen ratio probably isn't anywhere close to what it should be. I think we need double. And that's from historical perspective about how well it worked.
Yeah.
I think it's what we have 2 police officers for every 1,000, and we should have 4.
Yeah.
And so then it leaves it to the security guards, and the security guards, they go through shit too.
Yeah.
And they're making even less.
Oh, I know.
And they're the first people to get thrown under the bus, as if police officers aren't thrown under the bus by those corrupt ass DAs.
Exactly.
Jan says, push Johnson out, put Trump in as speaker. Jan, I was thinking about the whole Johnson as speaker thing. I'm thinking that there's a play where he's going to flip script here soon, and it's all going to turn on Kamala once the balance is changed. I think it's really going to change. I just have kind of a gut feeling on that, but I'm not sure. Mike says, for 4 years, I've stood down waiting for something to happen. If nothing happens, I am ready. Just saying. Mike, we're all ready. We're all ready. And I think the only thing that we're waiting for is President Trump and this election. And we're listening to Trump, and he wants us to stay calm, cool, and collected right now. And that's what we're going to do. But I do believe that that good and light will win over the darkness that has stolen our country away from us. The treason that has occurred will be brought to light, and those who are participants in said usurpation of our government will be held to account. Wendy says, I've always been curious how people don't question a bad flood in the mountains when it's a high altitude and the water should be heading for lower land. It was a lot of water that was dumped, like lots of water, because these towns have been there for how long? That's a good question. What is it? Asheville, North Carolina?
Yeah, that's one.
Asheville,
Chimney
North Carolina. Hold on, let me just do a little quick search here real quick. Asheville, North Carolina. When was that city founded? 1797.
Yeah.
Founded in 1797, and people are saying that those who happen to know everything seem to think that these people deserve it?
Yeah, I know. I know.
That town's been there since 1797, hasn't washed away yet. Now all of a sudden,
Now all of a
it
sudden-
washes away
Yeah.
when there's a battle legally for the land and the mineral resources underneath. This is why I say that natural minerals should belong to all the people, and any money made off of those natural resources belong to all the people. If it doesn't require any maintenance, obviously the companies need to get paid for the work that they're doing, but to actually own those natural resources, don't those belong to all of the people? So that way not one person like, I don't know, John D. Rockefeller can crop up off of what? Being a baron and pushing people off the land, being corrupt, paying corrupt politicians to withhold life-saving services that is the very lifeblood of what the government's supposed to be freaking doing. Come on. Anyways, Mike says I agree with you. Or Mike says I agree with you, Mike.
Yeah.
Chachi says we're ready out by me too. Yeah. Heather says amen. Originally we were founded as a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. I still have hope we will return to the founding fathers' vision for this nation. I don't think that there's any other way, to tell you the truth. Honestly, Heather, we can't do this. We recognize that it's our own demise if we play along, and more people realize that. So I think that they're losing.
Yeah.
And they're going to lose big. Bethany said, or Bethany forwarded Chop's message. Most Americans are still under the spellcraft of nefarious people. That's why most don't have a clue, even if they wanted it. That's true.
Yeah.
Sadly. Yeah.
I know. Oh,
how do we get people out from the spell?
I don't.
More people waking
I'm
up.
hoping
It's more people waking up. That's
I'm
our
hoping
only
this
answer.
is going to help, and we have a lot to get through.
Yeah.
So.
All right.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm done flapping my jib.
Ready?
Yep. I said yeah.
When you're chosen, you will be tested. Let me tell you what just happened to me 2 nights ago. So God's been dealing with me about my future. He's been dealing with me about preparing for my future. And there's something that he wanted me to do. He wanted me to drive 2 hours away back to my hometown to a rented storage unit and retrieve something in that unit. This has been on my heart for about 2 weeks, and I've been putting it off because it's a 2-hour drive. On top of that, it's going to take me probably an hour and a half in the heat of moving stuff around and getting what I need. But God would not let this go. It was something on my mind every day I got up, all day long. When I tried to go to bed, it was something that was always there. And I knew it was God. I knew this was something that he wanted me to do because he would not let it go. That's an indication in your life, whether you're hearing from God or not. It's that thing that's a constant reminder. A lot of times that is God. So anyways, I finally submitted one night or 2 nights ago, and I said, you know what, Lord, I'll go right now. And it was 8 p.m. I still had to go into town, retrieve some things to help me move some stuff around and get organized for what I had to do. I did that. By then it was 10 o'clock. I took off 2 hours away, got there at midnight to this storage unit back in my hometown. And it's a pretty nice layout, nice place. And it's got a big gate around it. When you pull up, it's got a keypad. So you enter your 5-digit code to that keypad and the gate rolls out of the way so you can pull in there. And I punched the numbers in and it wouldn't do anything. It just kept, it wouldn't do anything. I was stuck there. And I tried for several minutes. And I finally got discouraged. I said, God, you did not bring me all this way for failure. You did not set me up for failure. That's not your nature. And I said, I know this is you. You sent me here. I know I heard this from you. And I pulled the car forward. I got out and I kind of leaned on my fender. And I said, Holy Spirit, I need the combination. He did not give me the combination. He told me to put my finger on the pad and hit 5 random numbers. And I did that. And when I did, the gate opened and rolled out of the way. So needless to say, I praise God and thank you, Jesus, as I was diving in the car and laying drag to get through the gate in case it changed its mind. But anyways, I got back there to the storage unit and I did what I had to do. It took me about 2 hours. And by the time I got done, there was nothing dry on my body but my shoelaces. I mean, this was a job. And I got in the car. When I went to leave the gate, it closed behind me and God spoke to me. He said, where I send you, your provision will be there. And then he reminded me that delayed obedience is disobedience. What test do you have in your life? What instruction are you ignoring? Always remember this. Each test ushers in trust. Luke 16:10, whoever can be trusted in the small things can be trusted with the big things. Listen, I know tests can be grueling and they can wear you down, but let me remind you of something. The Lord tests the righteous.
Thoughts, sir?
Oh, God. Oh, geez. Okay. So each test, I think he said, ushers trust, or it proves trust. And so we obviously need to do that. And then the point that he brought up about the fact that a delayed obedience is disobedience. That's a tough one, because a lot of us was like, God, I don't see a way. It's not the right time. I don't see it. It's a lack of trust. That's a disobedience, and that's a difficult one. And Lord knows we're going through a test right now with everything that's going on, with people dying.
Yep.
So I guess this test that we are all going through is a challenge, and I can hear it. I can read it in the things that you're saying, and trust me, I'm right there side by side with you. A lot of the times, I do feel like it's overwhelming. God, what this is not what I'm designed for, to sit back and watch. I'm not a watcher. You created me to do something, and I'm stuck on the sidelines while there's people who are in need, desperate need, life and death need. And we have to sit on the sidelines while we wait so other people can wake up. I know that there will be more who wake up than those who have passed on. And I know that the survivors who struggle in this thing will be able to be part of that. But it's all trauma. It's all trauma, and it's going to create problems for centuries. That's why it's so important that we dig down in our hearts and let the light come through, because all of this can be overwhelming sometimes, especially when our hearts are saying, God, we are ready. We are sick and tired of this. We need what we lost. And a lot of what we lost was because we were kids when it had already changed so much.
Yeah.
God deliver us.
Yes. You lurk away, Miss Carol. You lurk away.
Lurk away, Carol.
So we're going to go over how Americans are helping America. We have several videos, so hang on to your hats.
And then the good side of what's going on.
You ready?
Yes.
Got Odie.
In my last video, they got removed for violating community guidelines for slurs against protected assets. I didn't realize illegal immigrants were protected assets. I thought the American people should be protected assets. My bad. Guess I'm wrong. Y'all in the comments talking about FEMA, Kamala Harris, they can only give $750. Is that all the illegal immigrants got when they came in? When they were kicking people out of their residence to house illegal immigrants with $750 all that they got? Don't worry, I'll wait. And in the comments, oh, he's one of those. One of those what? You see, when I was out passing out supplies, actually in these disaster areas, people from all walks of life was coming up talking about how they lost their businesses, lost their homes, lost loved ones. Newsflash, it wasn't just fucking white folks. Some of y'all, just like Kamala Harris, need to get your head out of your ass and realize what's really going on. At some point, we got to get real serious about us. And us includes all American people. This ain't rocket science. When shit goes sideways, we should be front line, helping, do what we can for the American people. We got money to give everybody else, but not the people who truly need it. Make it make sense. And you can keep violating it. You can take this account all the way to hell if you fucking want to. I'm not stopping. Because if somebody don't stand up for these people, who the fuck's going to? So hate me if you want to. That unfollow button ain't too hard to fucking find.
Thoughts?
Unfollow button ain't too hard to find. It's amazing that people attack people who are just talking about the disaster that's going on and pointing out things like the illegals are getting $2,500 a month per head.
Yeah.
And American citizens can only get $750. Oh, let me guess. You were happy with that little dog treat that they gave you during the Rona to keep you at home. You thought that that was sufficient. You thought that that was right. You thought that was good. You thought that's the best the government could do.
Right.
No. Aaron.
Oh, go ahead.
Aaron says, when I started telling my family to buy silver in 2004, it was about $7 an ounce. It's 32 or so today. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Been saying it for a long time.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Wendy says, unfortunately, people don't see or acknowledge something until it happens to them, their family, or comes to their back door.
Sadly, that's 100% true. And it's been proven. It's been proven because of what happened with all of these sanctuary cities.
Yeah.
When they finally started getting the illegals in their own backyard is when they finally recognized that, oh, hey, maybe we should shut the border. No shit. Well, thank you for seeing the light.
Exactly.
Hey, little lunker. Fashionably late.
Hey, Miss
Right on
Tracy.
time. Hey, Tracy.
Yeah, don't forget about the food stamps they're getting and the cell phones.
I still think the cell phones are a trap for them. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah. Now, this video is really short, and I mean really short, but it's Terrence Williams, so let's listen.
Oh, Terrence.
What's going on, everybody? So I am in Asheville, North Carolina. We are walking door to door, checking on people, asking them if they need any supplies, passing out food, supplies. So, yeah, we got to stick together. We got to help.
More people are doing
Food and supplies.
Than
And they're supposedly seizing these people's supplies that they're.
Oh, I got something for that. Hold that thought.
Oh, it's just getting better by the minute.
Yeah.
Just set everybody right up for the weekend.
I know. I know.
Sometimes it's difficult to keep a positive spin on all this.
I know, but just pay attention to what Americans are doing for Americans.
Wendy says, I've always felt like a horrible person for saying we need to stop taking care of the illegals. Could never finish my thought of because our veterans are unaliving themselves and homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not a bad person.
No, you're not.
You're not a bad person because they came here not through the front door. They snuck in the house through the back door. Exactly. I don't mind immigrants. As a matter of fact, I've known immigrants. I've served with immigrants. The people, Teener, he got his citizenship posthumously, and rightfully so. Immigrants are part of what this nation is. Obviously, we're all, I know my family is a family of immigrants, so I don't have a problem with immigrants. It's illegal ones.
Exactly.
And it's illegal because they're doing things that are disrupting our economy, our livelihoods, our communities, our cities, our states, our entire nation. And they bring their shitty ideas like, let's sacrifice other people's cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Mike says, look how quick they got them out of Martha's Vineyard. Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I love him too, Mike.
Yeah, Terrence, he's been a bright voice in all of this. Yeah, I've loved Terrence through all of this. Wendy says, been saying that since the 80s. The money they're giving them and not us is nothing new. Yeah, I know. Sadly. Aaron says, that's what I was saying earlier, Santino. A lot of talk on X about armed militia to escort private donations. Yeah, I know, man.
We're going to go over it.
Americans are being American again. And they're taking the un-American Nazi loving pieces of shit who happen to be in our government. Not all of them, but the ones that have weaseled and finagled their way in like a slimy ass snake to take away our country, those are the people that are un-American. And they need to go to their European utopia, wherever the hell that is, and go live it out over there since it's so fucking awesome.
Yep. You ready?
Yep.
This is a short video too, but we the people only have we the people.
Sadly. But amen. At least we have we the people.
Stretch my hand on my cup just goes up.
Thoughts, sir?
So in that video, since for the people who are just listening in, it was a man riding a mule and having a train is with the writing that was in the way. The most I could see looked like about 10 pack mules filled with some
10, 15.
yeah, and it could have been a lot longer of a train than of pack mules than that, bringing supplies in because all the roads are down and there's no way to get in except through the trails. But the good thing is that people from Appalachia are good, solid, hard people who aren't going to let this shit get them down. They're not going to sit by and let their fellow, Carolinians, fellow Georgians, fellow, Tennesseans, whoever. They're not going to let them just wither out there in the elements because we recognize we only have ourselves. Chachi says all those dumb people that took time to sign missiles and bombs, I don't see any one of them helping out. Yeah, you are correct. They just want the photo op. Yeah, where's the governor now? Shaking glad hand and smiley glad hand and, Mr. Nazi boy over there in Ukraine. But where is he trying to help out the people, his fellow citizens to the south? Or is he one of those global citizens? If you're a global citizen, global your ass out of here.
Exactly.
Laughed and said, Wendy, you don't have any kids, and rolled their eyes and laughed at me. Mike says, I keep typing my thoughts and deleting it before I send. Some things just don't need to be said. Mike, I feel the words that you're saying. I think we all do. We all do. So now is the time to push that darkness to the side. And like in triage, one of the first things that we learned in boot camp in the Marine Corps in terms of providing first aid was the process. Stop the bleeding, start the breathing, treat for shock. Stop the bleeding, start the breathing, treat for shock. Right now, we have to stop the bleeding.
Yep.
Then we can start the breathing. Okay, so stop the bleeding. People aren't there's no more floods and everything's kind of getting secured. Start the breathing. Get the supplies out to these people. Treat for shock. Get them removed out of those situations if they need to be, or provide them the supplies that they need to, so that way they can be self-sufficient until we can get other things taken care of.
Exactly.
That's the process. We'll worry about the rest of the stuff later. Remember, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. And as angry as we all are, he's not asked for our help yet, as far as I can tell. So in the meantime, I'm going to focus on the positive things that can be done.
Yep.
Mike says, that's why the numbers are dropping a little at the border. Aaron says, F-Clan, those weren't Democrats. They were working. Aaron.
Well,
yeah, it's funny because it's true.
Yeah.
Anyways, Chachi says, I heard that the folks they caught slashing tires at truck stops are mostly illegal aliens.
Imagine that.
Let me tell you how not shocked I would be if that was confirmed to be 100% true. Mike says, I do the same thing, Mike, and some thoughts are loaded with F-bombs. Yeah, I'm having a problem wrangling those things tonight. Thank you.
Yep.
Mike, a lot of them are flown into Jacksonville International Airport, 30 minutes away before they're flown out further into the country. Yeah. They got to hit the hubs first.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
They're taking the donations in Tennessee. Red Cross, FEMA, TEMA have come in and confiscated all of the donations that were given to the local high schools. They're taking control of additional volunteer schools. And if anyone wants access to the donations that they were given for help, they have to go through an approval process. All monetary donations taken and moved into a TEMA account, which means that they won't even be used fully for the Helene disaster. It's like they're turning local relief efforts into a mess of bureaucracy. When did it get this bad? Because FEMA is supposed to come in, Red Cross is supposed to come in and hand you water and give you donations and help and be there for you, but instead they're confiscating it and arresting people who are actually trying to help. Yes, the volunteers, they've been told to leave and can't even help people anymore unless they're trained by the United Way. The same people who were already out there making a difference, and now they're being pushed out and told to go home or they will be arrested. This is a total insult to all of the local volunteers who were doing the real work before these bureaucratic agencies stepped in and took over.
So, wow. Surprise, surprise. Big multi-billion-dollar organization, even though it's a charity, is corrupt as can be and is taking money, grifting money away from those who are truly in need. Boy, there is a special place in hell for a lot of people coming up here real soon. You know, God forbid that God forbid these people they will not have a good time if the shofar is blown, the big shofar in the sky is blown, and it's time. It's going to be really bad for a lot of people. Really bad. Aaron says, protect private donations, volunteers from the looters and terrorists masquerading as government. Bundy Ranch 2.0. Yeah, this is nothing new during a hurricane. And I think it was Tracy or somebody said that actually we put it up. We already talked about it, about the illegals are the ones that are doing the looting. If you aren't from this country and you are taking advantage of this situation, of these people's demise, so you can get free stuff, if I see that scenario ever, I can assure you that they won't be getting any stuff. They will be getting a one-way ticket, but they ain't taking anything with them. Mike says, I'm not asking for shit. The government can kiss my ass. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, the Red Cross has been corrupt as hell for so long. So long. It's just a money laundering scheme. And these same charities, guarantee you, they're the same ones down there in the Darien Gap or whatever it's called down there in South America, Central America. Mm-hmm. Helping these migrants, giving them a map, giving them, bus tickets, getting them the plane ticket. Yeah, the same charities that are stealing, they're still stealing our money to give it to the people that they think they're going to replace us with.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck.
Exactly.
Aaron says, Santino, I honestly think this could kick off. Again, not going to say it.
And just show how weak the government really is.
Yeah, and show how. But the thing is it's not. That's not the case. That's going to be awful. Yeah, people are ready. I know. We're feeling the pain. We're feeling the hurt.
Exactly.
But we got to stay calm and not let our emotions rule over us.
Yeah. Because
these are emotions.
Ready?
We must be rational about the way we move forward.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
NASCAR industry sent a convoy of supplies for Hurricane Helene relief.
No. They're not so big that they can't help, huh?
But they're better than the government.
Yeah, obviously. All right. So I've been so aggravated by all this. I almost missed the fact that the first truck had a 17 on it. So I'm pretty sure that these companies are actually trying to do some good right now, and the good PR will do them a world of good that they desperately need with as woke as NASCAR has been doing. I mean, NASCAR has been doing. It's you know what? It's a multi-millionaire. The NASCAR thing. They're not too dissimilar from the horse racers. All this money out there, and it's nice to see that they're actually doing something. But with all that wealth that they flaunt all over the place, playing a game for a living, I'm going to say that you have a responsibility. So good job for doing what you should have been doing. Make sure that something actually gets taken care of. Aaron says, well, you got to respect NASCAR. They know where 2/3 of their fan base lives. Yes, sir. 100% true. Anyways, Mike says, I have a question for all you guys. Are they building warehouses in your area that are huge and not being used for anything, just sitting empty? I can tell you that we have a lot of warehouses that are being built every single day. What they're going to be putting in all these warehouses, I have absolutely no idea. It is kind of concerning, especially if it's going on everywhere else.
Yeah, I know.
What all needs to be stored? Why are there so many storage units all of a sudden now? Too?
Yeah, that too. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, strange.
Yeah.
Jan says Greg Biffle in NASCAR has put so much together and using his own equipment and helicopters with others. Awesome. And I'm grateful for that. Yeah. That needs to happen. Everybody should, that it is in that realm of wealth should be dropping everything to help out if they actually care about this country.
Yeah.
Let's see. Aaron says at Mike here in Show Low, they just built an Amazon distribution center. Hasn't opened yet, but should this week or next. 16 acres, I think. Whew.
Yeah.
When he says, no, Mike, not here, but we already have tons of them and they're used. Don't know about more rural areas.
Yeah.
That is an interesting question. What is with all the warehouses?
Yeah.
Anyways, are we ready? Oh, there's Mike. I know we have people from all around the country in here. Reason I'm asking is they have been building them all around where I live here in Jersey and sitting vacant.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that they're vacant, especially
That's
when there's so
weird.
many businesses that have been shutting down. Why the need for all the warehouses?
Yeah.
Just big empty spaces.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, that's something that should be an eye should be kept on.
Yeah.
Yeah, Chachi says they got a few around him too. Heather says, to whom much is given, much is expected. Amen.
Amen.
I guess
Ready?
that's where I'm coming from. Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Here, read that real quick. It's just reading.
I'll just leave this right here. This is in April 2024. Remember this when you vote. San Diego County supervisors okay $20 million from FEMA for migrant welcome center.
There you go.
Wow. Awesome.
There you go. Remember that.
Remember that.
You ready?
Yeah. Are you?
Yep.
All right.
This is the spot where Jesus Christ was baptized in the River Jordan. This is one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries of the last 50 years. Jesus came to be baptized in the Jordan, which used to flow through here. Now it's about 100 meters that way, by John the Baptist, who we know was living on this side of the Jordan River in what is today Jordan. Jesus came here, John baptized him. That was really the start of Christianity. That was the start of his ministry. He left his old life behind. The next day, he gathered disciples to him and he began his travels and his preaching. So Christianity starts here. Now, how do we know it was here? Well, this was between 1967 and 1990s. This was a front line. Jordan and Israel were enemies. There was minefields here. It was a no-go area. Then when Jordan and Israel made peace, archaeologists were allowed in here and they started excavating and they found these massive structures. And these tallied with descriptions of early pilgrims and travelers to this part of the world who said, this is where early Christians believed that Jesus Christ had been baptized, and they built certain buildings here. For example, here, all these 4 piles had a church on top of them, a baptistry where people could be baptized, where Jesus was baptized. These structures up here are Byzantine churches. This was built under Islamic rule, a little Christian chapel here. And so we know from the accounts, this is where early Christians believed it took place. It's an example of the scriptures, the archaeology, and early historic testimony all agreeing with each other, corroborating each other, that this was the place where Jesus was baptized and the birth of Christianity.
That's
Thoughts?
pretty neat. That's pretty neat. And there's all those Byzantine structures there. And when the Byzantines were around, they were definitely hunting down all of these places. And they had a very high regard for like the accuracy of, was this place actually where this thing happened? That's why we have so many of the historical, religious historical places identified that we do. And there's archaeological backup to prove that a lot of these, that almost all of these places, if not all of them, are accurate locations where certain biblical events happened. So it's nice to see these places. We actually watch a guy called what's the channel on YouTube?
Archaeology Bible.
Expedition Bible.
That's it.
Expedition
Thank
Bible.
you.
And he is a legitimate archaeologist, and he goes around and he shows all of the places. He lives over there in Israel. I pray he's okay right now. He only puts one out every somewhere between 1 and 4 months is kind of what I've seen, some kind of big window like that. But as an archaeologist, he's really making sure that the information that's coming out is great. And he's making sure that those, that the locations, he has a great explanation correlating and educating people on the locations that he's going to. So I'd highly recommend checking him out. Expedition Bible is the channel on YouTube. Mike says 1 month till the election. I believe it's almost go time. I'm sitting on G and waiting on the O, ready to go.
Can you read that real quick?
Yeah. Just spoke, I can't read. Let's see. Just spoke to a friend of mine in law enforcement in North Carolina. He said that they have, and I quote, already used over 500 body bags, and there are bodies in trees, mud, cars, houses, everywhere. No Fed support whatsoever. That's John Rich. And that's had 2.4 million views on it.
Yep. You ready?
Yes.
If you are a helicopter pilot who has been running rescues in the North Carolina mountains and you have been threatened with arrest, or if you know of someone who has, please DM me. U.S. Representative Dan Bishop wants to know about this. And when I called the office and spoke with his assistant, they asked me to please provide the names and contact information of anyone who has been threatened with arrest who is running helicopter rescues. So if you or anyone you know has been running helicopter rescues and has been threatened with arrest, please DM me or contact the office of U.S. Representative Dan Bishop. It's up to us, y'all. Let's make it happen.
Who is she? What's her channel?
It is. I got to make it small.
There we go.
I am Whisperer Poet.
.poet.
Mm-hmm.
I am whisper.poet, and she says that she has the ability to get the information to the right people. And I think that if anybody was threatened with any kind of legal action because they were using their resource that is absolutely necessary in this kind of disaster scenario, to deny these people the ability to be of benefit to the their fellow citizens is a crime, and it should be treated as such. Because now when you tell these people to go away, you personally are accountable. It's just like being an EMT and seeing a car accident and saying, nope, leave that person alone. Nobody touch them, but they're still alive and they need help. Nope. No, that's the exact same thing. And if somebody were to do that on the street, that person would be going down. Of course, nobody would take them seriously.
Yeah, I know.
But they are personally liable for that. And they should be held to account.
Exactly, Bethany Ann. I don't know if we'll ever get the truth.
Yeah, we probably won't get an accurate number until we're allowed to have a government that actually tells us, the people, the truth.
Yeah. You ready?
Yep.
Congressman Corey Mills, he is once again on the front lines of this disaster. He does this all the time when needed. First to senior correspondent Steve Harrigan in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. What a heartbreaking story we just heard, Steve. And I know there are many, many more of them out there.
All across Western North Carolina, Martha. And because many communities like this one are still cut off 1 week in, that death toll stands at 179, but people here say it's going to keep going up. That's because the only way to find out if someone is dead or alive here, someone has to go by foot, door to door. They use walkie-talkies here to communicate, hand radios to get news, and everything is paid in cash. And when you talk to people and say, what help have you gotten in the past week from any outside agency? Most often the answer is nothing.
We're not getting the amount of support that we need right now. There are way more people impacted, way more people missing. Definitely, unfortunately, way more people that are going to be found dead in the coming days, as far as I believe.
And drinking water is the big challenge. Many of the wells here have been contaminated, and they can't reopen the schools until there's running water. That could be weeks away. Martha, back to you.
Incredible.
Thoughts?
They're not providing. I mean, this is kind of one of the things that we've been talking about. They're not providing the assistance that people need, and people are saying it, and that's on a mainstream media source, legacy media.
Mm-hmm.
Even the legacy media is starting to talk about it. This is not going to end well for Kamala.
No, it's not.
Or their kind.
No, exactly. The government and the media is downplaying this. You ready?
Actually, I wanted to share
Okay.
something, like survival water filter. Hold on, because you can make these things very easy, and I think that it's something that's important for people to know, because it shows you how easy water can go out, and it's just not going to. Sometimes we got to do our own. So take care of ourselves. You take a bottle, you can use rags, you can do whatever it is you need, but you want to be able to hold the top layer of rocks, next layer of sand, another layer of charcoal underneath that, and then a fine cloth filter underneath to keep all of those filter media there. And then that's just a simple way in which to try to filter water if you've got absolutely nothing available. But you should also want to try to boil your water if possible too, because that's going to do the best thing in terms of being able to make sure that various living bacteria and whatnot get destroyed. So yeah, if you're in that situation, there are natural ways to try to make sure that you have potable water.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another reason why I said try to get one of those old Boy Scout handbooks that tell you all those skills, because those are the things that are. It's a book that you can read, and it's a guide for that kind of a scenario.
Yeah.
Bethany says, one thing I've been standing even harder on is no digital currency after watching all of this. No power? Oh, too bad. No money. And they even said that in that the Fox video where they said people are using cash.
Yeah.
Cash is king.
Yep.
Mike says, I have some in my go bag. Good.
Yep.
Good.
Yep.
Good.
You ready?
Yep.
Something very sinister is happening in the Appalachians, and we need to fucking talk about it. Trigger warning. Anybody that's sensitive and can't handle hearing about this, go ahead and scroll. For those that are like me, that cannot allow this bullshit to continue, listen up. We've already seen the videos. We've already heard the eyewitness accounts. People stating, trigger warning, piles of unalived individuals being found in riverbanks, on the lakes, in the streets, in their cars, and nobody seems to want to come to retrieve them. The fact that we could even allow that to happen, like the absolute utter disrespect for these people. These people were grandmothers and grandfathers and children and aunts and uncles. Like, since when do we not respect our dead? But then it gets worse. As you listen to these videos, as you watch these videos, you see the devastation. Whole roads are completely wiped out. And I understand if people are not familiar with mountain areas, they think, oh, it's one road, you go around. Yet that's not how it works. Most mountain regions maybe have one, maybe two roads that go in and out. And when those roads are wiped out, those people are completely abandoned up there. FEMA set up camp in an accessible area and has told multiple people that they will not bring aid to people in inaccessible areas, which makes you wonder why the fuck they're even there. But that's okay. We have volunteers, right? Volunteers that'll go out, private individuals that are going to go out and help these people. Yeah, they're being threatened with arrest. People brought their privately owned helicopters to try to offer aid to get these people off the mountains, or at least bring them supplies so they don't starve to death or die from dehydration, because it has now been 6 full days of no water access for these people, and they're being threatened with arrest. Trucks have come to the region with supplies. Their tires are being slashed. Something very sinister and evil is happening here. Then you throw into the mix that there's an entire source of lithium under these mountains, and all of a sudden, things start stacking right in place, don't they? I just saw this post on X, and again, I try not to say that it's true. So that's for you, TikTok. I'm not trying to spread any misinformation. This is for educational purposes. However, they were specifically speaking about the government held a meeting in Chimney Rock and basically informed these people that the entire town will be bulldozed over, bodies and all. And that now the federal government owns that land. This is a fucking land grab. They do not care about these people that are stuck in the mountains. They do not care about these people that were unalived by this. And forgive me for sounding absolutely insane, but we all know that they've been able to manipulate weather for quite a long time. This technology has existed for a long time. So how am I supposed to believe that this is all coincidence? And how is it that I'm supposed to believe that this kind of lack of support is an accident? I'm absolutely enraged. And I am not going to stop talking about this until there is some kind of resolution for these people. I am but one person. I don't have the resources to help. I don't have the time to go down there. I don't have the funds to donate. But the one thing I can do is use my fucking voice. And I'm not going to shut up about this. These people do not deserve this. And for any of you idiots that think that they do, just know that you're next. We allowed this to happen in Maui. And now we're allowing it to happen again in the Appalachians. How long until it's your neighborhood or your town or your family being left to rot in the streets? We need to fucking stop this. Please share, and if you're going to donate, only donate to churches. Apparently, FEMA can't take the donations from the churches. So find local churches in the area, donate directly to them, or if you know somebody in the area, donate directly to them, because FEMA is not helping at all. Not to mention that they're stating they're apparently out of money, but we could send billions of dollars to the Ukraine. I'm so fucking sick and tired of this, and I don't know what it's going to take for my fellow American to get to that point either. This is absolutely fucking deplorable, and it needs to stop. God bless the people of the Appalachians. My heart, my soul is with you. I pray that God puts his hands on you and delivers you to safety, because you truly are surrounded by evil right now. And people like me will not stop talking about it. I don't give a fuck what TikTok does.
Thought?
Okay.
I know, Mike.
Yeah.
The things I want to say
So-
right now.
Oh, trust me. I've had visions of utilizing my specific skill sets very much because of all of this. So I will say that it is pretty apparent. How many coincidences until it's mathematically impossible for it to be just merely a coincidence any longer? About the trucks getting their tires slashed, about the police and fire chiefs telling people that they can't do any rescue operations, that FEMA is there, they're out of money, and they don't, and they're not allowing people to go in to help anybody else. When we know that there's this giant quartz mine there, we know that there's this giant lithium mine there. It's just a coincidence, right? That you're not helping these people.
Yeah.
And if they bulldoze people in the refuse, oh God, deliver us all. The disrespect to those who came before us and those who passed, to just bulldoze their body under rubble because y'all didn't freaking go out there and wouldn't allow people to go out there to rescue. Lots of deep cleansing breaths on this entire thing. Yeah, I'm at a loss for right now. I really wish I had better advice other than to pray and recognize that God has this. God has this, and that if he needs us, he'll let us know. But we all know that he doesn't need us, and that his ways are not our ways, and that we need to make our ways his ways. He sent his son to us, told us to be peaceful, no matter how challenging it is. I can only imagine how challenging it was to go through everything Yeshua went through. And those are the things that I have to remind myself sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all I've got too.
Yeah, I know.
But
Mike's got your 6.
and I got yours. Trust me. Trust me. If
Heather,
you need
it
us out
is-
there, the class can wait.
Heather, it is heartbreaking and beyond frustrating.
Beyond frustrating. It's just, what is the word for this? There's a complicit helplessness, which makes me angry. Complicit on my part, because it's like I could easily say, you know what? I'm taking the car and I'm going out there. I'm bringing all the supplies that I have. Damned if I need them or not. These people need them right now. It may cost me a ton of gas. I know that I'll get dropped from school and the VA is going to try to take the money back, and it'll just be a big nightmare. But that's what makes me complicit, because I'm, not making that kind of move. It makes me angry at myself, but it also, I look at what's going on and I realize that would only make things worse. I'd be better served having these trades to be able to fall back on, so that way I could be of even more use for people. I wish I would have done it sooner. And I think that that's one of the things that I'm upset with is myself, that I wasn't more prepared to be able to be of benefit to the people in need when they need all of us the most. Bethany says, the word vomit I have coming through my head is limited to 200 characters on my screen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You ready?
They really don't want to test the people of South and North. No, they don't. No, there's a lot of Appalachia in Appalachia.
Yeah.
And people don't understand what it's like out there.
Yeah. And I had a video about them bulldozing the whole city of Chimney Rock, and they just took it down. just took it down. I had it up and it just got taken down. Ready?
Yeah. They're
So
erasing
North
us.
Carolina just sent me this.
And they're not going to restock them.
No.
They're not going to get anything there because Megacorp, if Megacorp cared, they would have had trucks and trucks of food that gets thrown away every day. They know that they could spare food and donate it and take the tax right off, but they're not doing that. No, they'd rather let the food, the fruits and vegetables and perishable real food items that these people desperately need right now, they're not going to fill the store shelves. They're not even going to try to make money off of it. No. What does that tell you? It tells you they don't want us around. They're trying to erase us. It's going to take a lot more than that. But these are the things that are going to help people see that you can't pick that side anymore. That side is not for us. It's not for anybody except for themselves. May God have mercy on their souls.
Yep.
If it's right for him to do so.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Got Ant.
All right, guys. So I'm at Mango Rita's again. Today we are loading the U-Haul for tomorrow morning's drop-off up in Cedar Key in the Big Bend region. You guys have America. This is what it's all about. Y'all have outdone yourselves on donations. I'm about to show you. Yesterday, it was half this. It has quadrupled today. I mean, JJ, the owner of Mango Rita's, leading Southwest Florida always.
Thank you.
I love you. Love you. Thank you for doing this.
Can't wait for our road trip.
I know, our road trip tomorrow. Got Jimmy working here, doing stuff, opening stuff. We are about to load. My girl! Hold on. All right, I'm back. If you would like to come to Mango Rita, say, I know a lot of you are saying, how can you help? We're about to load that U-Haul with all of these awesome supplies for everybody. If you want to come and help me at Mango Rita's today, I am here right now. Come help us load this. And I love you guys. We're going to have to make a second trip. So if you guys keep ordering stuff and it ends up here, it'll go back up there next week. Hopefully we can get close to the Carolinas, but thank you guys. God bless.
Thoughts?
So these are the things that we should be focused on as opposed to everything that they're trying to do. Because again, stop the bleeding, start the breathing, treat for shock. These are the things we need to focus on right now. We can't afford to be angry because it's preventing us. That anger is blinding us from seeing the things that we need to do. And what Ant is doing, I love conservative Ant. He's amazing. And he's doing exactly the right thing. He's going out there and making sure that, he is getting the supplies out there. Hell, he just went through a hurricane himself.
Exactly. And he helped during that time too.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Ready?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same old theme. Say it's 1916. In your head, they're still fighting with their tanks and their bombs and their bombs and their guns. In your head, they are dying. What's in your head? In your
So,
Our neighbor's irritating me.
hey, look, the homeowners association get pissed off if there's a leaf on the front yard. I can't wait to get out of this freaking just enclosed little rat cage that got us
Yeah.
in here. I can't wait to go out to the country. And if y'all can hear that buzzing in the background, yeah, literally he's blowing the leaves around. But anyways, these people, I don't know, it's kind of difficult to tell. I'm sure that they're bringing supplies to people out there, and that's a great story because it's people doing the things that they can. Do what you can with what you have where you are. Thank you, President Roosevelt. Teddy, that is, not the traitorous Nazi or socialist one. But anyways, President Roosevelt gave us that one. And that's what these people are doing. That's really all we can ask of anybody. Do what you can with what you have where you are. And it's good to see that. And it keeps these positive actions make it so that way the negativity doesn't creep in. We have to capture all of our thoughts and we have to test them based off of whether or not it's the right thing to do. And so we need to keep that in mind and focusing our negative energy that can easily creep in into something positive. And I think Aaron even pointed that out to me. I appreciate it. We all go through these things and go through these challenges, and sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming. But what I will say is that keep it focused on the positive. And if it's a negative situation, redirect it, refocus, and make sure it's something that's good for everybody else around us. Just play the videos so that way we don't have to hear it anymore.
Ready?
Yeah.
They really got us out here applying for permits to help people. Like helping people became a profession. You need to apply for a permit, for a request, permission to help people. That's fucking insane. That's insane. You'll stand there watching, waiting for the order. Like, yeah, I guess you can help them. You need an order? You need someone to order in order for you to have permission to help people. That's where we're at. Insane. In the membrane. Let people know magic is mind control. Possession of the mind.
Thoughts?
Wow. So they want us to ask permission to go be charitable people.
Yes.
I
have
don't
to get a permit.
I don't need your fucking permission to save somebody's life. How about that? Who are you? Who the fuck are you to tell me that I have to ask your permission to go save someone's life? Why aren't you doing it if you're the one that's in charge? Who the fuck do you think you are? We are finding out how incompetent, how useless, and how evil these people are that are telling us that we have to ask permission to go help people, to send supplies.
They're charging for those permits too.
They're charging for the permits. It's about making a buck and taking money off of the people. We don't need you anymore.
Exactly. You ready?
Yep.
Make our own whiskey and our own smoke too. Ain't too many things these old boys can't do. We grow good old tomatoes and homemade wine, and country boy can survive. Country folks can survive. Because you can't starve us out and you can't make us run. Cause when them old boys raised on shotgun, we say grace and we say ma'am. If you ain't into that, we don't give a damn. We came from the West Virginia coal mines and the Rocky Mountains and the western skies.
Thoughts, sir?
So, people making it happen. You know, the army
Americans.
could have been there with its bridge units and have these bridges be able to be traversed in absolutely no time flat.
Mm-hmm.
Got bridge laying equipment. That can happen in less than a minute, where they can get a bridge over a 50-foot span of river,
Yeah.
and just like a minute, literally, just like maybe 3 minutes. I know, because I saw the equipment. I saw how it got used. I drove over those bridges. I drove over the pontoon bridges where they could cross the Seine River with it. Hell, the Romans used that technology, pontoon bridges. But the good thing is the American ingenuity is going to be showing itself. It's going to show that we don't need you and that we are resourceful people with which to take care of those who are around us, our fellow man. Y'all seem to have forgotten what a man is. Don't worry about it. We'll take care of them.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron says the 82nd is beginning to use their 100+ choppers, etc. And as of this morning that I saw is still being told to stand down. They need to defy unconstitutional orders.
Ready?
Yeah.
We have some disgusting breaking news, and it involves these hurricane victims. So this morning, Chimney Rock, which is close to Lake Lure, which is the viral video of the helicopter guy being threatened to be arrested, where he left a victim on the side of a mountain because they threatened to arrest him. Well, apparently they're getting ready to just bulldoze that entire community. And the local residents are speaking out, stating there are still bodies in the trees. You can see them. And they're not going to go rescue the bodies. No, they're just going to bulldoze it down so that the family members have no response or idea as to what happened to their loved one and or the ability to lay them to rest. And then they made the statement this morning that they did not want this to get out to the public. And I'm going to need you to do what you do, TikTok, because this is disgusting. I found this out from a local resident who was in attendance, and she was speaking on a live.
That they said that they can't even share, that they don't want this to go in public. And that's what they said. The town people said this morning is that they're literally piles of people that families are searching for, that they're going to just wipe them out, not collect them, not do anything, not send the family information, nothing. It is so terrible.
Thoughts?
So there it is. They just want to bulldoze it over.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you bulldoze over human bodies?
I wonder.
Other than the fact that you're a heartless piece of shit, anybody who bulldozes over a human body, I don't believe that you have a right to have a job. I don't believe that you have a right to do much of anything other than to sit around in a little cubicle that you can't get out of until you've figured out how much of an asshole you really are. Oh, and by the way, I know everybody wants a job. If you take a job at this new lithium mine that they bulldozed all of these people's corpses out of their way so that way you can make a buck, you don't deserve to have a job. You don't deserve much of anything. You don't really deserve to breathe the same air that I breathe, as far as I'm concerned, because you're a heartless, worthless version of a human being, that you don't care that these people's lives were sacrificed and were denied rescue when the opportunity was available so you could have a job, and you're comfortable with that. That sits all right in your heart. You don't have a problem with that? It sounds like you really need some counseling to understand that that's somebody's mom, that's somebody's dad, somebody's brother, sister, father, mother, brother, whatever. Somebody loved these people. More than likely, there's entire families that were washed away. You're okay with that? You're okay making off of a buck of their death? Wake up, people. Wake up.
Mm-hmm. Ready?
I don't even know if I could personally allow that if I see that those minds are working.
Oh, I know.
I don't know if I could. I don't know if I could live with myself.
I know.
That's a difficult one.
I know. I got some Kelly, and we desperately need some Kelly.
Yep.
Today, I'm going to share some biblical truth with you. Truth I wished I had learned a long time ago. Truth that has literally changed my life, and I know it'll do the same for you. 1, trusting God and trying to please God are not the same path. In fact, they're opposites. God never asked you to please him. He asked you to trust him. Trying to please him is based on your efforts. Trusting is based on his. And the best part is, when we're trusting him is when he's most pleased with us. 2, the devil's only attacking you because he sees you as a threat. He is terrified of what God placed inside of you. So he will do everything in his power to make sure you never figure it out. But hey, you just did. 3, no man is your friend. No man is your enemy. Every man is your teacher. 4, the devil can't steal what belongs to you by divine right, but you can give it to him anytime you choose. So don't do that. 5, you are in right standing with God right now, not at some later date when you get rid of your sin. If you could have got rid of your sin by now, you would have, but you can't, but Jesus can. You see, you're in right standing with God right now because of what Jesus did. Nothing you can do could ever get you there. So realize, own, and enjoy the position that Jesus died to give you. 6, I know somebody told you that God will never give you more than you can handle. But the truth is, God will often give you way more than you can handle. So stop thinking he gave you this because you can handle it. You can't. He's allowing this because he knows you can't handle it. And he wants you to press into him. We need to let him use these things in our life to build you and shape you and mold you and make you into who he's called you to be. 7, the Bible is not just a list of rules. Stop avoiding it because you don't want to read about one more thing you're not allowed to do. Every single word in this book brings freedom, peace, and fulfillment. Start seeing it as the greatest love letter ever written, a love letter from God to you, because that's exactly what this is. 8, the disciples did not drive a Honda, even though the Bible says they all came in one accord. 9, being buried and being planted looked the exact same for a season. Stop walking away from what God asked you to do because you think it's dead. Try staying planted and grow some roots. Remember, you plant a seed, not a tree. Let God grow some things in your life. 10, expectation is the cup that God will fill up. Start expecting God to provide, heal, restore, and work through you every single day in amazing ways. But always remember, the expectation needs to be on who, not how, when, or what, because expectation is the cup that God will fill up. 11, try to live with the mindset that I've got a lot to teach, but so much more to learn. 12, stop giving up and quitting when life gets hard. Let go instead. Quitting is an act of despair. Letting go is an act of trust. Quitting is you giving up on God's plan. Letting go is trusting God's plan, even when it looks completely ridiculous. 13, stop praying for victory and start praying from victory, because Jesus bought that for you. 14, repentance doesn't mean being ashamed and crying about it. Repentance is when you change your mind and your life follows your new direction. You see, repentance doesn't happen when you cry. Repentance happens when you change. 15, the reason we never read about Jesus riding any bicycles in the Bible is because he breaks every chain. He breaks every chain. He really does. 16, every single promise in the Bible is yes and amen over your life, but they aren't automatic. You actually have to go get them and speak them over your life. Give it a try. It's incredible. 17, don't get mad when you do have faith, but it feels like the mountain isn't moving. You see, God may be moving it one rock at a time. 18, you can't have fear and faith at the same time because they both want the same thing from you. They both want you to believe something that hasn't happened yet. Now, which one you choose to let live rent-free in your mind, that's up to you. 19, hiding sin doesn't make you feel better or help it go away. Exposing it does. 20, Because you have Jesus living in you, you are the light of the world. A flashlight does no good in a well-lit room. If you want to see your light become effective, you have to take it out of the church and walk in to the darkness. 21. The thief on the cross next to Jesus was not Paul's dad. That is not what he meant when he said, my old man was crucified with Christ. Come on, you guys are just silly. 22. If the Bible tells us Jesus didn't come to condemn anyone, what makes you think he gave that job to you? 23. A man with an experience is never at the mercy of a man with an argument. So stop arguing the Bible with people. In Revelation, it tells us we overcome by the blood of the Lamb. That's Jesus. And the word of our testimony. That's your story. So go out and use it. 24. Go out each day and make a difference. Stop trying to make a living. If your goal every day is to just go to a job so you can provide for yourself, your wife, your kids, your family, you've just taken God's job away from him. He is your provider, not your boss, not your spouse, not your parents, but seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all things will be provided to you. 25. You don't have to build your identity in Christ. You simply need to believe it. 26. Don't fall from grace, fall with grace. And last, but definitely not least, it's all about love. Love covers a multitude of sins. Love always trusts. Love isn't self-seeking, self-motivated, or self-made. We can only truly love others after we've accepted and received the love of our Father. You see, he doesn't have love. He is love. It's not a coincidence that the letters L-O-V-E are in the word revolution, because that's exactly what it's going to take to truly change this world for Jesus. Go and think about that for a minute. Hey, if this blessed you today, please check out my brand new book. It just came out. It is a 40-day devotional called Think About That for a Minute, Volume 2. Every single day for 40 days, we take a scripture, break it down, apply it to our life. There's a prayer for the day and then space for you to write down what God is speaking to you. Look, this is an excellent tool and resource to come alongside your Bible reading. It shouldn't take place of it. This book has blessed me. I know it'll bless you. It's blessed so many people. Go read the comments on any of my videos. You can get it today at kellykministries.com or go grab it on Amazon. It'll be cheaper, faster, free shipping. Either way, check it out today. And think about that for a minute.
All right. So, it was quite the list there. And we know that we need to let God do what he's going to do. We need to run to the cross, and that can be difficult at this point in time, especially when we see that it shouldn't be this way. We've seen everything so wrong for so long that we don't even know how we can make it right at this point. And we have to remember that when when everything looks like it's absolutely lost is when God can make things. That's when God steps in. And we may be getting close to that spot at this point in time. We got to get there. We got to recognize that that it's always darkest before the dawn, and that we're just waiting for that light. And we need to trust that light will shine. So, you okay?
I got a massive headache.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Yeah. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, pop it up first.
There you go.
I've heard people say, comparing it to Katrina. Absolutely. I would, in some ways, I think it's worse.
I'll say this. I think at one point they were averaging 4 inches of rain per hour. And that's a lot of water.
This is spread out over a huge area. We're talking, hundreds of miles. One of the things that we're seeing in this storm that we haven't seen in the past is the amount of water that has fallen on this region.
Roads are gone. Like entire concrete asphalt layers, 2.5, 3 feet thick, have been washed away.
These towns are literally being wiped off the face of the map, and it is just heartbreaking to see that there's literally entire towns that don't exist anymore. It's going to take time. This is not going to be a overnight recovery. We're talking years, and these people are going to be hurting. They need every resource that's available to them and will be available to them. This is going to be a long, hard battle.
Everyone's saying this is worse than Katrina.
I believe that's a very real possibility. It's certainly over a very, very wide area. And that's one of the reasons why they're not letting actual numbers come out of the deceased.
Right. Absolutely. You ready?
Yeah.
How about some Big Daddy tea?
Okay.
This is the final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. We will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media, and we will liberate America from these villains once and for all.
Thoughts?
So, President Trump, he's the leader that we're looking for. He's the leader that would not allow this stuff to happen.
Yes.
He's the leader that we need right now.
Yeah.
But how are these other people that are too stupid to see the truth going to really recognize it until they have to live the truth?
Mm-hmm.
It's all part of an awakening.
It is.
And yeah, we got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. We got another one from...
And we need leaders like President Trump.
We do. We got another one from Trump, and it's from Christian. He sent it to me.
Nice.
So...
The only good thing about what happened with this 4-year disaster is that the people will understand when we fix our country. They'll be much more understanding than they would have been if we just went straight ahead and did it. Because this country has never been laughed at like a bunch of dopes. It's never been laughed at like it is right now.
The pause. It had to be.
It did have to be. It was absolutely necessary to have this pause. It's sad, the things that the people have had to endure for this pause, because there's such an overwhelming majority of, not majority, and a gigantic minority of imbeciles who seem to want to believe everything that they're told on the television and aren't bright enough to open their own eyes and see what the hell's really going on around them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's why this pause is necessary.
It had to happen this way. It had to.
It did. And you know what? Now I can see why people were so angry. Why the, not the boomers. I'm talking about the greatest generation and the generations before that. Very stern people.
Mm-hmm.
Very stern. Now I know why.
Yeah.
Now I know why everybody was so stern. Why, when I was growing up, everybody acted the way they did and they didn't take bullshit from anybody.
Do you blame them?
Because it leads to this.
Yeah.
And so we just need to make sure that we call out bullshit when we see it.
Yeah. I have 2 videos from his rally today. So I want to listen to both, and then I'll get your thoughts real quick.
All right.
Consider FEMA. FEMA. You know what that is, right? The Federal Emergency Management Agency. And you read about now all the time, because there's nobody that's handled a hurricane or storm worse than what they're doing right now. Kamala spent all her FEMA money, billions of dollars, on housing for illegal migrants, many of whom should not be in our country, including $1 billion for gift cards for illegal aliens and putting them up in luxury hotels with a gift card to welcome them to America. Consider FEMA.
Okay, so that's one. Hold on one second.
Gift card.
Please.
Wow,
Yes.
How nice.
Isn't that nice?
Roll out the welcome mat.
Yeah. Okay, and then this one.
Okay.
One second.
You know, they had like a honeymoon. I didn't know what a honeymoon period. They kept talking about the honeymoon. Because I beat Biden, we're up 21 points by their numbers. And they went to him, crazy Nancy Pelosi. She's crazy as a bedbug. Crazy Nancy, but others too. They went to him and they said, Joe, you're out. He said, I'm not getting out. And they said, no, you're out. We're going to use the 25th Amendment because you're freaking crazy, man. And he eventually agreed to get out, which took about, 24 hours. Remember, he said he would only get out if he was forced to by God. And that didn't work out. That didn't work out. So they said, you're getting out because you're going to lose. You're going to lose by a lot. Right after the debate, they went to him, right? I don't know, did I do a good job or a bad job? That's crazy. They said you should have taken it a little bit easy, but all of a sudden we start hearing rumors, right, that he's getting out. And then we heard they, have the standard list of people, Democrats, and Gavin Newsom and lots of people. He destroyed California. She destroyed California, by the way. She destroyed the greatest city in our country 20 years ago, San Francisco. And then she became AG. She destroyed the state of California along with Newsom. But she had every bit. Did you ever hear of him? Gavin Newsom. He's a terrible governor, done a lousy job. And you have such advantages. You do have great weather, you have the beautiful ocean, you have everything, but you still need somebody that knows what they're doing. And she destroyed, think of it, she destroyed San Francisco when she was the DA. The crime started to be rampant. It was the best city, the best. And then she destroyed California. And now she wants to destroy the United States of America. We're not going to let her do it. So you have to tell Lion Kamala that we've had enough, Kamala. We can't take you anymore. We're not going to stand for it anymore. Kamala, you're fired. Get out. You're fired. You're fired. Get the hell out of here. Right?
Thoughts?
I wish we could fire her. And Joe and everybody that's in there. But I guess we're just going to have to wait for Trump to get back into office, and then we'll see the reckoning that will be coming. And my God, I look forward to the day justice comes. Mr. President, I'm ready to start winning. I'm ready to get tired of winning. Actually, I'd like to start winning so that way I can get to the point where I can get tired of that winning. I know you're going to follow through with your promises there.
I agree.
Can we please start winning? Mr. President, I beg of you.
I think we're close. I really do.
Yeah. How many days till Election Day?
Not that many.
Not that many.
Yeah.
Too
30
many.
days.
Yeah, I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
I've been told that if I keep quiet about my faith, I'll be more successful. If I don't talk about Jesus on social media, I'll succeed more. But this is what Jesus says. Matthew 10:33. But whoever denies me before men, I also will deny before my Father who is in heaven. God bless. I will never deny Jesus Christ.
Thoughts?
I've been seeing some of these videos popping up lately, and he's not the only one. And I'm glad that he said that, because I know that there's a tremendous, if you want to be popular, you can't talk about God. Obviously, we don't care about that around here.
Oh, no, we don't give a big rat's ass.
We talk about God, and we don't have a problem about that whatsoever.
No.
If that keeps us from getting higher views, then so be it. I don't care.
We are
because
who we
we
are.
need him now more than ever. But I have been seeing that there's people talking about the pressure to not talk about God as an influencer or whatever you want to call yourself. And I'm glad to see that people just aren't caring.
Right.
I think that it's important for people to talk about our faith, because it's that very mentality that got us to where we're at now, where people rejoice in the fact that entire towns are washed away because they don't like their politics.
I know. It's disgusting.
America lost its heart.
Yeah.
We need a defibrillator on this country real bad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the only way to have that happen, the only way this country can be resurrected is it turns back to God. That's the only way this country can be resurrected. So we must talk about God. And we have to know that God is going to take care of this, and that he will inspire us to do the things that we can do for his will and for all of our good. We know it to be true. We just have to, maintain that faith and do what we're inspired to do to support and help those who are in need of comfort.
Yeah.
Steph says, you will, Santino, and KU will reach hundreds and thousands of people by the end of this.
Oh,
Thank you. He wills it. Deu Volt. God wills.
Yep. You ready?
Yeah.
Got Don Jr.
Don Jr. I haven't seen him in a while.
Who is Q? You'll never know, folks. I'm not sure. Maybe I know, and I just can't tell you. Who do you guys think it is? Out of curiosity. Do you remember?
Maybe I do know, and I just can't tell you.
I mean, it's probably the best answer that he could have given. There's too many things for Q to be true, and I was going through a lot of the Q posts earlier today. There were 9 today, and there's really a lot of things where we're seeing a lot of truths that are still being shown from Q. How can these posts that were done for a LARP on the internet years ago still spitting out truths that more and more people are finding every day? That's why they're going after President Trump and the things that they say, going after the president, the actual president. The things that they're saying only highlight the fact that Trump was right. The truths that we see coming forth every single day, those are proving that Q was right. Clearly, there's some truth there. And so, yeah, we're going to look at it. And I think it's important for the American people to understand that there really was something going on in the background. And truly, if you think about it, if you really think about it, you know that there's a group of corrupt people. Everybody can agree that politicians are corrupt.
But yeah.
How can people not agree that there would be a group of politicians who aren't corrupt, who actually love this country, that would be fighting for this very nation to this day? It's probably one of the more absurd things to say that Q doesn't exist, or that there isn't some kind of counter to the evil that we've been seeing. Of course, then again, the people who deny Q are either paid shills or just too stupid to read the letter Q.
Exactly.
Chachi says the cabal has been sweating Q a lot lately. We are truly at the precipice, and I do see that we are getting to the precipice. People are getting tired of it, and people are getting antsy, and they're not really too willing to wait for the election. And that's the scary part.
I know.
Gonna FA and they're gonna FO.
Yeah, I know.
Mike says, always remember, be as nice as you can be till it's time to not be nice.
Yeah.
Steph says, yes, we are, Chachi. We are at the precipice. But how do you wake people up? You have to show them.
Yes.
And sadly, the only way to show people is to have these miserable experiences that we all have to suffer through, because some people just don't want to wake up.
I know. You ready?
Yep.
There we go with, what'd you call him, Agent Smith?
Agent Smith.
Ready?
Yeah.
Fundamentally private scheme was a fundamentally private one. Former Assistant U.S. Attorney and Fox News contributor Andy McCarthy has written about this at National Review, but we get him here to help explain to people, why did this come out now? And do you think that there was some funny business behind it?
Well, I don't think it's more funny than the whole strategic scheduling of the proceedings going back to when it was indicted and the effort, Dana, to have a trial in March. The point of this was to try to get this information, which has been hashed out again and again before the American people. None of this is new, but the idea was to get the evidence out in as spectacular a way as possible, and by Smith's lights, hopefully get Trump convicted in the run-up to the election in hopes of influencing the outcome of the election. And now we have the release of this book-length size recitation of Smith's case under circumstances where there's no possibility of having this trial before November. And there was no reason to have it brought out in public now. In fact, in most cases, a judge would be concerned about, for example, poisoning or prejudicing against the defendant, the jury pool. In most cases, a judge would be very concerned that evidence not be broadcast in public without the usual due process cautions that go on in a trial about the defendant being presumed innocent and the fact that allegations are not evidence of anything. the point of releasing this now can only be to affect the election. It doesn't have there's no legal need for it.
There is some hope from some people that would be the case. Watch here.
It is a bombshell. It comes 34 days ahead of the next presidential election.
There are many dozens of bombshells here.
I think that this is absolutely going to be used again in the court of public opinion to once again try to frame the former president as a martyr or a victim of the justice system.
He is now off the chain, as the kids say, and talking about people coming in and slicing your neck.
We've got a lot of October surprises, and we're only, into day 3 or day 4 of October, and there are a ton out there.
Over the last few years, we have covered many of the trials and filings against President Trump. That hasn't affected the election up to now. I mean, maybe it has for some people, but the election, President Trump's popularity, he's more popular now than he was before. And it hasn't hurt him so far. I want to read to you what he said on Truth. He said, for 60 days prior to an election, the Department of Injustice is supposed to do absolutely nothing that would taint or interfere with a case. They disobeyed their own rule in favor of complete and total election interference. I did nothing wrong. They did. The case is a scam, just like all of the others, including the documents case, which was dismissed. Does he have a point there about how close it is to the election?
Well, he's got a point about the one-sidedness. There really is no 60-day rule. That's kind of an unwritten rule of common sense that you don't do anything that you have to do or you don't have to do publicly for purposes of being perceived as trying to put your thumb on the scale of the election. But there's no hard and fast rule about that. I think he does have a point that the rules have been slanted against him. And, for example, all deference was given to President Biden and Hunter Biden to keep the Hunter Biden stuff under wraps in the run up to the 2020 election. That was done, by the way, by the Trump Justice Department. So Smith has said there's no 60-day rule that applies to Trump because everybody already knows about these allegations. And I think to your point, Dana, the commentary we're hearing about there being bombshells in this thing is absolutely true. Some of the stuff that's outlined here is appalling. But I think the thing is, the country already has decided what it thinks about January 6th. Mm-hmm. That doesn't redound to Trump's benefit. But what it means is that, the country's moved on for 4 years to other things. And the fact is that they have to weigh what they think about what January 6th says about President Trump's suitability to be in office versus all of the dysfunction that they've had to live through for the last 4 years. And then you have to decide and weigh all that and vote.
Andy McCarthy, thank you. And I recommend his piece to everybody. It's on National Review right now. Thank you.
Thanks, Dana.
26 past now.
All right.
Thoughts, sir.
So this is what they're calling their version of an October surprise. And there's absolutely no possibility for this case to make its way through the courts before the election. So that only indicates that this really is a smear, and it's to try to make Trump look bad. And they get their side of the evidence out, and they're saying what they want to say. By the way, this is a Politico here, and you can read Special Counsel Jack Smith's unsealed court filing. Everything they've done is to try to smear President Trump, and you can read the whole thing here. I was reading through this, and you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing a lot of opportunity for President Trump to be able to state his case that has been denied for so long. There's opportunities because the election interference, because this is all about election interference. This is all about how the election was stolen. And so since this isn't going to happen until after President Trump becomes president for his third term that he didn't get to run the second one, I believe that this is going to play out perfectly on the back end of the election, because then into evidence in a case that they brought, provided that the judge isn't corrupt, but I have a feeling that there's going to be some changes here soon, that we're going to hear about 2,000 Mules. We're going to hear about Jovan Hutton Pulitzer. We're going to hear about the stuff that Mike Lindell did with all of the satellite data that was captured between Europe and like Italy's defense contractor and China, and then all of these things going on. And so all of this evidence will finally get into a record, and then it can be argued at that point in time. But you can't do that exposure while the cabal is still in control. It's just not going to work that way. So the way it has to work is when President Trump is back in office, the courts will be free to go ahead and start looking at legal cases from, I don't know, more of a justice kind of perspective as opposed to a corruption kind of perspective. Oh, please don't tell the whole world my dirty laundry. Yes, I'll do whatever you say. But I don't think that that's going to happen. I think that it's finally going to get heard. And these people were going to have to eat a lot of crow who've been just nasty, worthless human trash that have decided that they won, get over it. And it doesn't matter if there was cheating because they were just trying to protect democracy. Well, go have your democracy over there in Europe. Apparently, they like that shit.
Exactly.
We are smart enough to recognize that democracy is a failed experiment. Well, just like socialism in every form it's ever been tried.
Exactly.
Mike says it's almost over. One way or the other, things will be better. I agree, Mike. Just take it easy. That's all we can do right now.
Yeah.
That little things like this are actually much bigger than people recognize. And I'd recommend, if you have the time, go ahead and read through that case that they've presented. And as you're reading it, you'll see, oh, that's right, because that was denied. That was denied. We didn't have that opportunity to have that court case. But I have a feeling that we're going to get all of the court cases in one in this scenario. And I think that that's going to be interesting.
I agree.
And Q did talk about some court cases today.
He did.
Chachi says DJT is a wartime prez. So more than 2 terms like FDR in World War II, but way better than FDR ever could be.
Amen.
Yeah, amen.
You ready?
Yeah.
Where did Aaron go? He just quit talking.
I think he got frustrated.
Okay.
If a chef accidentally burns sugar, it turns into caramel. If caramel is cooked further, it can become toffee. And toffee is more valuable than sugar. If grape juice turns sour, it transforms into wine, which is even more expensive than grape juice. You're not bad because you made mistakes. Mistakes provide valuable experiences. Albert Einstein struggled in school, but he went on to revolutionize physics. Alexander Fleming's mistake led him to invent penicillin. Don't let your mistakes get you down. It is not practice that makes perfect. It is mistakes we...
It's mistakes that we learn from. Did y'all know that the Red Baron crashed his first 3 planes? Let that one sink in. Sometimes we got to do a lot of failing before we can actually succeed. There's tons of stories about that. We've been doing a lot of failing as a nation lately. But what do these failures teach us? And what have we learned? Learned some really hard lessons. A lot of people are learning a lot of hard lessons. But those hard lessons provide resilience. And that resilience will harden us in the future. And we get hardened in the future because we're actually maintaining our vigilance towards what we're supposed to. And that is our citizenship. What this American experiment is, this gift that we've been given by God and the divine providence that created this experiment. There's still hope. It may look ugly right now, and it may look like there's no hope. I can assure you there's always hope. If you feel like there's no hope, crack open the Bible and you'll recognize that there's plenty of hope.
I agree.
So these mistakes, they're jagged little pills to swallow. These deaths, this exposure of the corruption, these things are what's going to help us keep these things from happening for a good couple 100 years until we forget again. Sadly, that's human nature. But it doesn't mean that we can't keep it from getting this bad again in the future. And so what do? We learn from these mistakes. We take notes and we recognize what is it that we can do in the future moving forward to keep these kinds of things from happening. I can assume that we probably won't need so many bloated government agencies because
What?
they're letting deceased people bloat everywhere over there in North Carolina, in the Carolinas, in the South. So recognize that this pain leads to something. Let's turn it into something good and recognize that these mistakes that we see and these problems that we see are there for our education. And we need this education right now.
Very much so.
Everything's going to be fine, folks. I mean, I know that there's a lot of people suffering, and I know that more and more people are getting much needed supplies and human support out there.
Because we are Americans helping Americans.
We're figuring out who we are again.
Yes.
And that we don't need Uncle Sugar to do anything for us. And
At all.
Uncle Sugar is proving why they don't need an income tax. This will all come out in the end, and it will show us that we can truly be free again. And I do believe that this darkness that we're going through will help us get to the freedom that we've all been fighting for so long. Rejoice in that.
Yes.
School of Hard Knocks. Exactly, Chachi.
Yep.
Yeah, can't wait to do that year's celebration that President Trump has said.
Exactly. Because we're coming up on that big deal.
Yeah. All right, folks. I know that this was kind of a miserable show, and then we did it on Thursday as well. We can't help what's going on in our own world around us. All we can do is talk about it. It's up to us to find that little glimmer of hope, and that glimmer of hope is our Creator. So make sure you hold on to that. This is probably a good weekend to really reach down in prayer and really feel on what it is that we can do. Keep spreading the good news. Keep educating people on what's really going on, because this thing, these disasters really will wake up a lot of people.
They will.
And we need to rejoice with that.
Yep.
As many as were lost, 10 times as many will be saved.
Yep.
All right, everybody. We love you all. Thanks for joining us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, Rumble, and pill.net.
And if you haven't already, please take a minute and give us that virtual hug. If you're over on YouTube or Rumble, hit that thumbs up. If you're over on pill.net, take that red pill. If you're over on X, smash that heart. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. And remember, we don't need the government. We've proved that with this hurricane. We are Americans helping Americans, and we need to continue to do that.
Remember, there's still human beings in these organizations. So remember, it's humanity that we're trying to save.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Have a great weekend. We love you all. Have a great night and a great weekend. Be safe and God bless.